Hey everyone, it's Monday, September 7th, the evening. Hope everyone's had a good long weekend, good Labor Day long weekend here, and we're getting ready to start another week. It's going to be a shortened week, obviously, and futures right now indicating a green open for most of the indexes. So we'll see if that holds through the evening. But again, not surprising. I kind of expected we'd have a bit of a comeback after Friday's price action. You can see here everything came back up. But still some, I would say some red flags here. You know, the number of stocks still trading below their either their 200-day and their 50 moving a pretty day, even pretty elevated given where we are with the market indexes, which just shows you how skewed the market is to a number of stocks. So let's get into the indexes specifically. Start with the transports. You can see here, not surprising, series of resistance points, and of course we stalled out here, which isn't again not a shock, but all the moving averages are moving up. RSI volume's been good, so transport's still looking positive for the week. You can see the daily here. We recaptured the 20-day moving average, which is going to be kind of the tail of the tape here for just about everything we look at. Thursday's down action, Friday's recapture. Let's take a look at the Dow, the weekly, again down on the week by about 1.8%, but again on the week still in an uptrend, and on the daily again still in an uptrend. Tried to recapture this 20-day moving average. Again, came pretty close to it. Big volume days, both Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So again, we're still in an established uptrend, but maybe looking a little bit dicey here. The dollar, I'm going to do things a little bit out of order here. The dollar was kind of interesting. Here's a weekly chart. You can see here we lost the 200-day, but now we're trading above it on the week. So we recaptured that. Volume building a little bit here. I'm not sure that we've broken this downtrend on the dollar. And there were some interesting news items here. There's still this seems to be an ongoing underlying battle. The Chinese, they haven't bought what they promised, phase one deal or this trade deal, and phase one on the trades deal, and now there's some more stuff coming out about semiconductors and the U.S. banning Chinese companies from accessing semiconductors. So it's a lot of tension there still, apparently. And I think I saw something about Chinese talking about selling treasuries, and I'm not really sure why they would front run their intentions. You wouldn't think that would be wise, but who knows what's going on there. But anyway, yeah, dollar could be still under some pressure here, but for now it's popped back up, and you can see here the daily maybe putting in some bottoming action here. Of course, that has implications for emerging markets and gold, silver. I'd like to see a weak dollar for those trades to work. The SPY again, sort of same tail of the tape. Almost looks like an outside week. And again, down 2.25% roughly on volume for the week. So we did have a bit of a pullback. We were really overdue for that. I mean, you look at this chart here, everything just continuing to go higher, and definitely due for a pullback. Here's a daily, again, recaptured this 20 moving average, and uptrend still in place. The Qs, same story. You can see here, same story. Again, big volume days. So, but there was a bit of a rotation out of the technology sector. And you can see here IWM, the small cap. So this is the index I like the least. It's definitely having some challenges here. This was an area, obviously, prior resistance, and then it did break out a little bit, pulled back, and then really dropped off. But you can see here we're right back at that level, and we are struggling with the IWM. And RSI looks like it's turning down here. On volume daily, again well below the 20 moving average. So again, not liking stochastics rolling over here, not liking this index at all. And it might be an indicator, another indicator that we're getting ready to roll over, because usually this where the small caps will lead a market lower. Again, the VIX took some VXX trade last week, because you can see here was a consolidation phase, and you could see as the market was going higher, the VIX was also going higher. That's a big red flag, and why I took it long midweek, because it was telling you that people were starting to get nervous about where the market was and how far it had run. So big move up, sold it, and it's really a trader's market now. You've got to be really fast to catch these moves. So we're pulling back a bit, but I would expect now the VIX to remain elevated. I'm almost expecting it to remain sort of above the 200-day moving average, maybe this 28 level, as we get closer to the election. And we know that there's going to be a lot of um, twists and turns and all sorts of stuff going on. I don't want to get political, but I think we're just going into an area, going into this election, where there's going to be a lot of volatility, and maybe right into the election. And with some of the challenges with counting ballots, and there may be a delay in finding out who won. I just think that we're in for a bit of a crazy time. Let's just say that. So let's take a quick look at what's working and what isn't, just with these candles at a glance for the sectors. I'd like to see here, just see exactly what's working, what was working. Industrials were working last week. Materials seem to be holding up well. Energy just really looking bad. Healthcare not looking great. We're down below the 50. Financials were looking good. So if we've got a nice pop coming in the yields, because the yields may need to go up to attract people to buy U.S. dollars. That'll be good for the financials. So right now, financials, industrials, and the materials look decent right now. Energy looking not so hot. Okay, so what have we got for actives here? Let's take a quick look at that. You can see here, still in this trade from back under 14. And again, I think agriculture is looking like a decent trade. FAS I got out of, and got into, got out of, got into again. Again, it's pretty crazy right now, but I have a small position in it right now. And I'm just hoping we'll gap up higher and maybe get up above this sort of 40, 41 level again, looking for 42 as a target. Intel still holding that from 48, although it's pulled back significantly and may have some challenges with the tech if tech continues to be weak. Again, bought this and sold it on this pop-up, and it's pulling back. I may look to get back into the VXX trade, just because I think that we're going to go into a period of time where we're going to have some elevated volatility in the market. So here's BA. Looking at that one, VA is kind of interesting. It is kind of holding this, I'm going to call it one sort of 70 level. What was a low here? Low was 168, so it seems to be holding this level. Industrials were ones that were performing okay, so I think if we break above 180, 190 could easily be done here. So BA looking kind of interesting. BABA was really just touched 300 here. You can see here it got to 299 as the high. Didn't quite make 300. So my prediction was wrong. I was expecting it to go to 300 and then pull back, but we got a pretty big pullback here, and now got some support, so might be interesting. The Chinese stocks might be interesting for another ride higher. Again, emerging markets have been doing really well. This is a monthly chart, but let's take a look at the daily quickly. You can see here it's stalling out at the pretty much where we would have expected it to. Again, this is going to be dependent on what the US dollar does to a large degree, but it does seem to be flattening out here. so maybe not that interesting. Fuel cell, I was watching this, and I'm not really, at this point, I'm not, the state of the market, I'm nervous about a lot of things here. Um, because any kind of news, and we're getting into some news flow where things could really turn nasty in a hurry here. So um, GDX and GDXJ, I think gold and silver are interesting. The problem with these is if the market does really get hit with a sell-off, these will often get sold off too, even if the price of gold holds. So kind of it makes me nervous holding the miners. But I still think they're going higher in the long run. GLD, again, kind of holding this level of support right now. This is more the metal itself. Still looking interesting. JPM is kind of an interesting trade here. If the banks go higher, again, financials seem to be performing well. Could take a run up to 108 from where we are, 103. So JPM, FAS looks interesting. Again, Micron was a trade I missed. Unfortunately, did get a pullback here, but again, with technology performing the way it is right now, a little bit nervous about it. And Bitcoin's been catching a bid here, so Riot could be interesting. Another one that could be interesting is Overstock. Let's look at silver quickly here again, holding this level. Here's a level to trade against, sort of this 25 level, 24.50. Could be interesting. Again, I'm expecting gold and silver to go higher as we get closer to the election. There'll be more people looking for a safety trade. And here's oil. And again, energy just terrible. And you can see here oil selling off. And I believe, if I remember correctly, if I've been looking at the pre-market, I think it's been selling off more here. So and energy is not a sector you want to be in right now unless you want to go short. Let's take a look at one of the stocks. ExxonMobil dropped from the index, the Dow. You can see here we're kind of sitting at an area where there's been some prior support. Again, if we lose this level here, we could be going down a lot further on that. And let's take it Overstock quickly here. Overstock's always a good Bitcoin trade. It's been really selling off, so could be interesting if we start to get a turn. But right now, I don't see any reason to buy it right now, although we are getting into some area of prior support. So we'll keep an eye on Overstock. And that's it, everybody. Hope you all had a good weekend. This is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade, if you haven't checked it out already. So again, same deal. We'll be starting the pre-market show 8:30 in the morning, live on YouTube for our non-members. Hope everyone can join us then, and then we'll be trading the market at 9:30 in the morning. Have a great rest of the weekend, everyone, what's left of it, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now.